Hello, my friends. I'm here with Kyle Ruddy, Director of Technical Product Marketing at HashiCorp. How you doing, my friend?
Very good, very good.
Fantastic. One time, no joke, I went to the HashiCorp website, and the number of products that you have is astounding, and they all do amazing things. So why don't you introduce us to HashiCorp if you don't know what it is, and that way we can get a sense for it.
Yes, absolutely. So really what it comes down to with that plethora of features that are out there, it's all about either infrastructure lifecycle management or security lifecycle management. And you probably have heard at least of Terraform that's on the infrastructure side, or Vault that's on the security side.
So there's a ton of stuff. If I'm trying to get started, you have just the tool to help us out, right?
We do, especially at an event like this where AI is all the rage. We have a tool that can help you get started.
All right, so you brought a video. Let's start playing, and let's tell us what we're looking at here.
Yes, let's kick off the demo video here because we're at our developer site where we can find documentation on all kinds of things, including, say, Terraform.
Oh.
Where we can see our configuration language, we can see some of the syntax, some of the resource definitions, providers, we can even get into expressions. But at this point, if you've never used Terraform, you're probably kind of glazing over.
Feeling like a lot.
It's definitely a lot that's going on here. So if we go up to the right-hand side there, we can actually use the developer AI that kind of is very fancy. And you can ask it questions like, how do I authenticate into Azure so I can start deploying resources with Terraform? And it goes right immediately in and gives you that step-by-step process so you know exactly how to get up and running and authenticated to Azure with Terraform.
I mean, this is awesome. Are you using like LLMs in the background to do this goodness?
Absolutely, yeah. We've trained a whole bunch of LLMs on the background to give you the best information possible so that you can even dive into saying like, hey, what about some sample code so I can start deploying virtual machines in this environment? And not only does it give you just the virtual machine code, but it gives you the entire sample so that you can actually have a virtual machine that's provisioned and it's ready to roll within the environment. Because we're starting with everything from the provider block down getting into the resource group that you may or may not need to provision, networking, public IPs, and networking, the whole thing.
And including a link to the document down below, which is fantastic.
Exactly. It gives you that contextual information so that if you do need more information, the link's there, it takes you right there. However, that's also not where we stop because we can even, if you've used Terraform before, you know that there's a difference between the Azure Linux virtual machines and just a regular Azure virtual machine.
I didn't know that. See, I'm learning here.
Exactly. You can even ask it that type of information and it'll give you the response back.
I didn't even need you. I could have just asked it.
Exactly.
What are you here for? We should have just interviewed this bot here.
Exactly. You could have just asked it this entire, conversation and it would have been able to manage that process. However, we've shown a bunch of stuff around Terraform here, but we can also ask it Vault questions so that, because, we're also caring about security lifecycle management, so we can ask it, how do we integrate Azure in with Vault's OIDC provider?
That's so hard to do, too. I've done stuff like this.
It does, and look at the code, the concepts is just scrolling immediately by, but it gives you, again, that step-by-step process of not only how do you do this in Azure, but how do you integrate that back in with Vault. So it's a really great, it's available right now in beta form. So, definitely, requesting folks try it out, kind of get used to playing with it. Give us a lot of feedback. We've got a feedback link that's right there on the bottom of that page right there.
Yeah, I'm not good at infrastructure as code. I'm not good. I'm an AI guy. I love writing my own models. I love playing with LLMs. But the fact that I can use tooling that's as good as you all's and be able to have a bot help me. It's like the AI that I've been working on so lovingly gets to help me with the stuff that you've worked on so lovingly that's super useful to me.
Absolutely, exactly.
So where can folks go to find out more about this stuff? And then what are some things that you've seen feedback that you've gotten?
Yeah, so first and foremost, head out to developer.hashicorp.com. That's going to be where you can find not only information about that, but about all of our products as well. And then some of the feedback is really around adding new features. How do we get more stuff into it? How do we, gain access to maybe different services, maybe new services that you all provided, as part of this event?
Yeah, and the cool thing about this is, look, we're product people. I always tell myself when someone says yes and, we love your feature, or they don't ever say we love you. Well, can it also do this? That's how I know you've hit the jackpot. So good job, my friend.
Thank you so much.
Awesome. To learn more about HashiCorp and all other featured partners, go to the featured partner page to see demos, to learn more about what they're doing, and to generally get a feel for our awesome partners. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in a little bit.